Thank you all for being here. I wanted to say a few words. As some of you may know, I'm running for the United States Congress, and I'm doing that because of the values from what happened 50 years ago and before then, that long line of martyrs whose names we heard and whose stories we learned about. And because it seems to me that there's a typo in the United States Constitution. It says that in order to form a more perfect union, that we're going to do various things. And that seems to me to be a contradiction, because if something is perfect, we can't have more of it. But Reverend King understood why that's not a contradiction. Reverend King understood when he stood in Washington, D.C. at the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and said, "I have a dream." He said it is deeply rooted in the American dream. He knew that the ideals of equality and of freedom and of justice were perfect, but we fell short day after decade after century from our original sin of slavery through the abolitionist movement, through the desegregation movement, and down to the present day. More perfect. He understood that we had more work to do to achieve those perfect ideals, and we still do today. And Reverend King, when he came to Memphis on April 3rd, the night before he was assassinated, he was standing with striking sanitation workers because he understood that the cause of racial justice was tied up with social justice and economic justice to be more perfect. And the day that he was struck down by an assassin's bullet, Robert Kennedy went to Indianapolis, Indiana, and he broke the news to people who were standing at 17th and Broadway at the heart of the African-American inner city, who had not heard the news until Bobby Kennedy said, "I have some very sad news to share with you tonight." And in his remarks, speaking without notes from the back of a truck, Bobby Kennedy said, "In this difficult day, in this difficult time for the United States, it's perhaps well to ask what kind of a nation we are and what direction we want to go in." And he reminded us that Reverend King stood for wisdom and compassion, for justice and for love, to build that more perfect union. We heard that long line of martyrs. The list goes on. The work continues. The dream must live on because Reverend King's work is unfinished. And so I'm here because I'm inspired by those values. And I'm here because even today, 50 years later, we have a lot of work to do until that day, as it is written, that justice will roll down like water and righteousness a mighty stream. And we can build that more perfect union. Thank you all so much.